Hello friends, the BJP government has destroyed Indian economy and people's livelihood. Post-independence, Nehru has given due importance to public sector enterprises and he hailed the public sector enterprises as the temples of modern India. But what the Modi government is doing, Modi government closed all the public sector enterprises and it opened Ram Temple. And Nirmala Sitharaman is asking the public sector enterprises to strengthen the private sector. Nehru government opened a planning commission by which it declared that India is going to be a planned economy. It is going to give adequate funding to all the welfare schemes and it is going to fund for the centrally sponsored and centrally sector schemes for the state. But what the Modi government has done, in 2015 it closed the planning commission by which it washed off all its duties of funding for the welfare schemes, and it opened a Niti Aayog, which is acting as a neoliberal agent of World Bank and WTO. It is recommending to dismantle the MSP given to the farmers. It is asking to implement anti-farmer laws, and it is enlisting all the public sector enterprises to be privatized, and it is giving the planning for handing over all the public assets to the corporates. This is what the Niti Aayog is doing. And now the BJP government is also interested to open Niti Aayogs for states. Already the states has been blocked from smooth functioning because of the governors. But the BJP government is interested to give a double burden on the state governors by means of this Niti Aayog. We should not allow that to happen. BJP government's neoliberal agenda is minimum government, maximum governance. That means it reduced all its funding for the welfare schemes. The roadmap for which is opened by Vajpayee. He only introduced the famous fiscal responsibility and budget management legislation, which reduced the spending power of the government for the welfare scheme, which reduced the borrowing capacity of the states. And he also, Vajpayee is also famous for introducing a separate ministry for disinvestment. It is a ministry of disinvestment. By which the Modi government increased its privatization drive. Post independence of all the privatization done by the government, more than 60% has been done in the last 10 years by the Modi government. There's been privatizing all the public sector enterprises and public sector banks, and it has been introduced a monetization program by which it is handing over all the public assets to the including highways, railway, everything to the corporates. And they has also allowed foreign direct investment in all the sectors, including defense. It has been the upper limit has been increased to 74% now. The BJP government is planning to reduce the government share of the public sector banks to its minimum. So far, the cooperative banks have been under the control of state governments. Now it has been shifted to RBI. So the state's sovereign right has been transferred to the RBI, which is totally against the principles of federalism. The public sector banks have been giving free loans to the corporates. Around 15 lakh crores of the corporate loan has been waived off. But the MSMEs are starved of funds and their credit gap has been widening. The Modi government imposed two disasters on the economy and the people. First one is demonetization, by which Modi said he is going to eliminate all the black money from the country. But RBI study says post demonetization, the counterfeit currencies has been increased. The Modi government has opened a tax haven in Gujarat Gift City, which is next to Gandhi's Sabarmati Ashramam. They are asking all the Adanis, Ambanis, and the world millionaires to you don't have to go to Singapore, Cayman Islands, Mauritius, Switzerland. You just come here. You can save your black money safely in Gujarat Gift City. They are saying. which is they opened a tax haven in a democratic country. And the second disaster Modi government imposed on the economy is GST. By means of demonetization and GST, they have almost killed the informal, unorganized sector. And the GST has taken away all the fiscal rights of the state, and it has stopped giving GST compensation also to the states. Even during the COVID pandemic, the government has not increased its spending on the health sector. It has only given fiscal stimulus, which is amount to only 0.75%. But what they say is they have given they falsely claim that they have given 10% fiscal stimulus, and most of the schemes are nothing but credit guarantee schemes, and the survey says that 70%, 75% of the survey says that they have not benefited from government schemes. The Modi government is saying that they are going to make India the manufacturing hub of the world, but their Make in India should have been named as Make Foreign Products in India. They are not promoting domestic enterprises. They are only promoting foreign subsidiaries. They are not increasing the efficiency of the manufacturing sector. Actually, the share of the GDP share of the manufacturing sector was 24.3% in 2007. Now, during the Modi regime, it has been reduced to 13%, and half of the jobs given by the manufacturing sector has been dropped. With their production linked incentive scheme, they are not promoting MSMEs or employment intensive sectors, which is necessary for job creation in India. What they are promoting, they are only giving incentives for the foreign subsidiaries who are doing not just the assembling, not any manufacturing. They're just doing the assembling thing and they are getting the incentive. Even Raghuram Rajan criticized that the PLI scheme is not going to help the MSME sector. It is only giving incentive to only Tata. Why we had to give incentive for Tata, who's already a big established? They reduced the corporate tax to 32 to 25%, and they are giving lot of softs and incentives to the corporate sectors. They are calling it as incentives, but whenever they gave something to the people, they claim it as freebies, and the Modi government is totally is against the freebie culture, he is saying. By which they are making the people ashamed of getting their due right from the government. And Nidhi now claims that it has reduced India's poverty to 5%. How it is possible? They pushed the party line all the way down to the ground, so that they eliminated all poverty from the country by means of pen. But India is in 111th position in hunger index. Usha Patnaik estimated that in rural India poverty has been increased to 80%. In urban India, it has been increased more than 60%. How the Modi government reduced unemployment in the country? They have been counting all the unpaid work also as employed. They have been politicizing statistics. And even Pranab Sen has said that the BJP government is politicizing the statistic. Only by preventing its heavy-handedness in statistics, it can be the statistic data can become reliable. So the Modi government has turned all the schemes into scams. The CAG has exposed the level of corruption in the India government, and it is amount to 7.5 lakh crores. And even in Manreka scheme, they have looted around 1,000 crores in terms of mismanagement. And PM Kisan, in the first year, the beneficiaries are in the number of crores. And the second year, it has been reduced to lakhs. And half of the beneficiaries are income tax payers. This is how they are implementing the PM Kisan. And they have been implementing all the anti-farmer, anti-labor, anti-fisherman laws in the country, and they have been only doing the advertisement. That is why Modi is doing the roadshow everywhere. And in Betty Becho, for the Betty Becho scheme, 80% of the fund allocated is spent only for advertisement. So the corruption is rampant everywhere in the Modi government. And during Modi's period, the rupee becomes the worst performing currency in the Asiatic region. And $1 value of in rupee was 55 rupees in 2014. Now it has been reduced to deflated to 83 rupees. So there is a 50% value has been eroded by means of the Modi government. And the inflation eating people's purchasing power. The purchasing power of the people has been come down, and there is no job creation. Their income has been reduced. The BJP government is beating their chest, saying that they made India the fifth largest economy in the world. But there is nothing great about it, because we India, the most populous country in the world, to be the fifth largest is you have to see it in terms of per capita GDP. In per capita GDP, we are in 140th position. Okay, so what could be a ideal proxy for measuring the progress of the country? Can only be the per capita income of the bottom 10 percentile of the population. But the per capita income of the bottom 10 percentile of the population is below 10,000 rupees. So there is nothing great about it. And India's growth has been in on the average, it has been around 5 to 7%. But see Adani's growth. India's growth is in single digits. It is in single digit. Adani is growing double digits every year. It is in 50% is there is his growth, his wealth is increased by 50%. And Oxfam report claims that Oxfam India claims that India becomes the worst unequal country in the world. And the inequality in India is more than what it was in monarchy. And the top 10% of the country owns more than 72% of the wealth of the country. Top 1% own more than 42% of the wealth of the country. The bottom 50% own only 3% of the wealth of the country. Such a level of inequality was promoted by the Modi government, but he has removed the wealth tax. But the Modi government has reduced corporate tax, he has removed the wealth tax, and he has reduced the income tax for the upper class people. During COVID pandemic, during the crucial period, the BJP has stopped funding for the MPLADs, that is the Member of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme. For more than 1 year, it has not given any funding for the MPs. Modi government introduced reservation for the upper caste, which is totally unconstitutional, and it is only interested in upholding the Brahminical hegemony. And they wanted to implement only the Hindutva ideology. The all their leaders are so toxic, poisonous people like Golwalkar and Savarkar. Savarkar asked Sanghis to use rape as a political weapon. Golwalkar hailed Germany and asked the Sanghis to see as a role model for establishing Hindu Rashtra. The RSS and BJP, they don't believe in democracy, they don't believe in constitution, or they see constitution and democracy as imported Western ideas. They don't believe in liberty, equality, fraternity enabled in the constitution. They only want the Varnashrama to be implemented everywhere. They want the caste to rule the country. The RSS and BJP have been spreading Islamophobia everywhere, and they hatred for Muslims everywhere, and they have been exporting it by means of their groups, overseas friends of BJP and the Hindu Swayam Sevak HSS, which is the overseas branch of RSS. In fanning communal riots, divisive policies everywhere, and they have been wanted to eliminate all the minorities out of the country with by the implementation of CAA. They have zero tolerance for minorities, democratic rights. They will never allow India to remain a secular democratic republic. BJP, being the terrorist organization, should not have been given the recognition by Election Commission, and they have ruled the country for 10 years, and it is a biggest historical blunder. We should never allow this blunder to continue. And Modi used to say government has no business to do business, and it is high time to say that Modi and BJP has no business to do politics in India. So defeat BJP, vote for India Alliance, and vote for DMK. Thank you so much.